Welcome to Transition Tuesday. I'm Lilith. That's Amanda. And we scour the internets for questions about being trans.
Or if you have one now, if you want to put it in the chat, we'll address
it. If you just want to totally upset the apple cart and all the prep.
We're happy to do it.
We're happy to do it.
We're improvisers.
Whoa, I'm a professional improviser.
I'm an amateur.
Everyone's an improviser. Unless you got a script when you were born, you're making it all up the whole time.
I've been practicing my improvisation.
Have you now?
I said that thinking it would be a funny oxymoron, but really it wasn't very funny at all, and probably you actually have to do it.
I did have someone who, like, a smart ass, like, why do you have to go to improv rehearsal? It's like, well, you play the games and you learn, you just get better.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how things are. You do stuff and you get better. That's true.
You have to learn, how do I talk on a phone if I'm improvising?
So good. This is such a good show right now.
So good. Matter of fact,
and I'm so blurry.
Our question is about improv. It's like, Lilith, what's the proper way to drink a cup of water in improv?
What is? You do it
think about how you there you go. That's how you do it. But I've seen people, they do this and they tilt their head back.
That's how you drink.
And then they go glug 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 glug, and it's like you don't.
That's how I drink. Let's try it.
See, you got it wrong. You didn't say glug glug.
I did glug 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 glug. That's terrible.
The proper way is that Trump way, where you hold the glass like this and then you put your fingers here.
You hold it with both hands and you piss your pants.
I mean, if you're not pissing your pants, are you even drinking water?
Pants, shid, hog, crank.
Let's just get to the question.
Let's do it.
Did transitioning make anyone else agoraphobic or just me? Don't get me wrong. Transitioning was definitely the right decision for me. But this was something unexpected. I'm generally happier and can at least look at myself in the mirror, not recoil in horror, but I didn't prepare for this. I'll venture out in public occasionally, but rarely by myself. I didn't used to be this way, and obviously in therapy. How did you get over the fear?
So much to unpack there, because what they didn't do is tell us how far along into their transition they are, when they started transitioning, when this question was asked. For me, there was another factor, because I started transitioning at the end of 2018. And so I had a year and then I had COVID. I did get agoraphobic, but I don't know that it was the hormones. I don't think it was the hormones that did it for me. I think it was COVID. COVID was a traumatic experience that fucked up my shit and fucked up everyone's shit. Like how you're in the early stages of transitioning and you just want to get through that awkward phase and you're just like, I just want to go like hibernate. Can I just go hibernate for a year and then just emerge from my cocoon as a beautiful woman, or a hot dude or whatever? Of course I wanted that. We all wished, I wished that. And then of course it was just like monkey's paw curls. Like COVID hits. And I was just like, well, I do actually get to do that now, but this is not how I wanted it. I do not have that experience that this question asker is. Do you?
For me, it was a lot of COVID. I was performing a lot. I spent a lot of time at a local theater. So I was like house managing the theater. I was directing shows. I was acting. And that all got shut down during COVID. And it was less that I didn't want to go outside, more that I realized I didn't really need that as much as I thought I did, which I don't know if that's healthy. I don't really need that connection to other people as much as I thought I did.
Well, no, because that's a huge thing, because I think for me, because I was a musician, I was a working musician, and I was playing live and touring and doing all that stuff. And a lot of that was compensation for the fact that you just can't feel it's like that threshold, like a pre-transition threshold that you get, where there's just that glass ceiling where this is as good as I can ever possibly feel. This is the most amount of you hit this very low threshold of just, that's as good as anything can get. And as good as it ever got for me was not shitty. And so I had to chase stuff like that. I had to chase fame and the thrill of being on stage and getting whatever, all those things that come with live performance, that the dopamine and the serotonin that you get, that I was lacking, and that I just wasn't getting organically. Yes, Lilith.
See, now we have people interacting in comments. So Mira says that they're 2 years into their transition, and what's helping is having places that are LGBT accepting. And I feel like that might be part of it too.
I think for sure.
We live in a country where even if you're in a state where, you have protections, it's not very It's not very safe. And if you listen to a lot of the news, I try to unplug from that stuff a lot. And
you can't help but hear it. It seeps in.
Now that people are actually here listening to me, I always hesitate saying stuff like this. But for me, it's just like, I feel that if I go out in public, for the most part, I don't run into that.
It's not what the real world's like.
I'm also in Detroit, which is a very trans-friendly and trans
But you
city.
weren't.
No.
For a long time, you were in rural Virginia. We're not necessarily a super trans-friendly place, but you were fine.
Yeah, sometimes it does start by finding those places where you go and you feel comfortable and you feel safe. I try to unplug from the negative a lot because yes, there is work to do. Yes, we are in for the long fight, but also the loudest people get on TV.
The worst, yeah, the sensationalism.
Oh, you're in Florida, Mira. I'll be in Florida in August. I do a festival down there every year in Tampa. So if you're in the Tampa, St. Pete area, you should come see my show. I'll get you on the list.
I haven't been to Florida since I started transitioning. We all hear the horror stories. But I think probably like everything else with this stuff, it's like, I don't think that most of the people in Florida are horrible. I just think the government there is despicable. And I think that's the case in every red state. I don't think the MAGA has a majority anywhere. Maybe in tiny little pockets like Marjorie Taylor Greene's town, like Rome, Georgia, maybe. But like there's nowhere in the country, there's no state for sure. There's no populated area where people think like that overwhelmingly. Yeah. That's not the case. Like most people just are nice. I mean, that's an aside from the point, which was like, do we ever feel agoraphobic? Maybe that is a cause of it. It could be. I've been a very confident and outgoing, as you may have picked up on, very gregarious person. I am by no means an introvert, but that first 3 months, the first 6 months of transitioning, I was at the lowest point of my confidence that I'd ever been in my life. So for someone that isn't like organically as boisterous, I could see how that could be like even more crippling than it was for me. You don't know how to dress, your body's changing, like your brain's changing all around. Like it's a hard time. It's a magical time, but it's hard. It was difficult. I look back on it fondly now, but at the time, I was just like, I can't wait to get through this.
When I came out, like I emceed like a music show, and then I had shows that night, and I felt like I was just like super confident going out. But then what happened to me is I got a job working from home. So now there's really no reason for me to go outside. So it's just like, I'm going to come here. I'm going to work all day, go to the grocery store once. The rise of delivery services means you don't have to go to restaurants anymore.
Well, so we're also late model Gen Xers, and we're aging out. You don't want to go outside after you get past 45, really. I go out still and I do stuff, but it takes a lot more spoons to get myself to leave my room with my video games and my toys and all the things that I like to do. They're all right here. And so like going out is effort. I have to put on makeup. I have to dress. Like I have to put on clothes. Like I have to.
You don't have to do that.
I don't have to do that. Have we met, Lilith? Of course I have to do that.
Okay. All right. Yes, I get it.
One does not have to do that.
One does not have to do that.
I have to do that.
You have to. Okay.
I do go outside without makeup, and I do slum it.
Yeah.
And that took me a long time to even be able to do, though. I mean, like it took me probably at least 2 years of being on HRT before I felt comfortable leaving my house without makeup. All the stuff I did in that first year, the padding and the gaffs and the corsets and all that stuff. It's like, I don't do any of that stuff now.
I didn't do any of that.
You didn't do any of that stuff ever?
I'm lazy trans.
But that's why I love you so much. You just don't give a fuck. I want to address Mira a little bit. So Mira said a couple things. I definitely get dressed up for Pride, though I've never ventured into makeup. And then my first year before HRT, I went around with breast forms. Like, that's a very reasonable thing to do.
I did have breast forms. I didn't have a gaff or anything like that, or I never tucked or anything.
I didn't do anything. I made a point that I didn't want to just like dive too head first into it and go do it in any sort of ham-fisted way. And I was real slow and measured about like the steps that I took. Reducing masculinity was where I wanted to start. It didn't work out that way, but my intent was that like I wanted to get to the point where I was like fully androgynous, so like you literally couldn't tell. And then I felt like once I got there, then I could cross over and I could, start wearing heels and all bras and all that stuff. But of course, what happened really is like I went into a store and I saw a dress I thought looked cute and I tried it on and I loved it. And that was it.
For new viewers or people who've only watched the edited versions of our shows, this is a standard thing where we get so far off topic, but we have our best conversations.
Oh, yeah, it's part of it.
I would say when it comes to agoraphobia, if you're seeing your therapist, that's great. Might it be because of your transition? Might it be because of COVID and just like the fact I said for 6 months it was like no one went out, and then like I said for me it was more of a thing where I was like, oh, I don't need that.
It could be aging.
Oh my God, you could be getting
so much like gets intertwined with that because the transition is so slow that like you can't parse is it the hormones or is it because I got older? You change so much from the hormones, but also all human beings are constantly in a state of flux. You're maturing. Everyone's passing through time. The world changes and your responses to it change.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I wanted to give you just a hot tip about makeup. So there's a YouTuber and her name is Eldridge. And for anyone that wants to learn how to do makeup, I strongly recommend her. She's a professional makeup artist. She's at the top of her field. She does all the red carpet stuff for the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the Emmys, and the BAFTAs. She's from London. And that's all enough. She's also really cool, really down, and she gets to business. A lot of makeup tutorials on YouTube are done by people that don't really know what they're doing, and they know about makeup. They know a lot about the makeup, but they'll have bad house music in the background. They'll get distracted, like we do. And but Lisa doesn't do any of that. Lisa gets straight to business. She'll maybe talk for 5 seconds and then she goes right into it, and she's methodical. She lists all the products that she uses. She gives links to where you can get them. She has recommended stuff. She's just the best in the business. And that's how I studied. When you're transitioning and you're starting out, like it's like I felt that was a big, huge hurdle. Like it was like, I have to learn how to do this and I have to learn how to do this fast. Cis women, like when they turn 12, they start playing around with makeup. Like no one looks twice at you. Like if you're a 12-year-old girl and you have bad makeup, but like if you have the outward appearance of a 40-year-old man, like people do not treat you so nice.
I barely know how to put lipstick on.
You look great. Like what are you talking about? Your eyes look good and your makeup always looks good.
I didn't do like the lids. I just put a line under each eye so it pops a little online, and then
but that's the thing about it is sometimes that's all you gotta do. Like it's kind of the beauty of it is like there's a whole school of thought which is less is more. And
the main takeaway is if I can get to this point and still not know shit, y'all will be fine.
Yeah, you're all gonna be fine. It's just like a little tidbit of help here and there. And one more thing for Mira, because she said my biggest dysphoria came from my lack of breasts. Now that I have something worthwhile homegrown, I feel so much better. And like, ain't that the truth?
It is.
I do love my tits. Like they are like my favorite thing in the world. I've grown quite attached.
No, they're fabulous.
Can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine how I spent so long without them. Like how I lived. I don't know how I did it. I was so miserable.
But we did it.
We did it.
We made it.
So yeah, I don't know about the agoraphobia thing. I don't know. It's too hard to say. It could be that. You said this all already. I'm just rehashing. I'm just beating it.
That's all you do. You take my best. You take my best.
I take your best statements,
and then you try to
just say them again.
And then what I assume happens is you edit the show and you just edit me out.
I don't edit you out.
I ask the question and then you just do it.
That's it. That is me for the rest of the time. That's not at all what it is. You can see for yourself or watch our show Transition Tuesday on the Transverse YouTube channel.
Is that on Tuesday?
It's on every Tuesday. We have another show, Who's That Turkey? It's a game show. Lilith guesses at who the turkeys are based on the misdeeds. We always want guests on that show. So if you've got a webcam and a microphone, like we'll have you on and you can play Who's That Turkey with Lilith. Let us know, media@thetransverse.net, or just drop a comment anywhere in any of our videos and we'll find it.
Yeah.
The Transection Discord, which is probably where most of you came from. We're in there. Or email. Look at me talking like a grandma.
Hey, you send me the email.
Send me an email. I'll get that email.
Message us on Discord. If you're going to be in the Tampa area August 8th to 11th, you want to come see my show, message me.
I think we're going to leave. Do the like and subscribe thing. Thanks for everyone that donated to the Transverse. We love that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for chatting. And if you have a question you want us to answer, we will answer it. Just DM us in Discord. What are you laughing at? This is housekeeping stuff. You gotta do this stuff.
I'm gonna write you a script just to
Emily, join the Zoom.
I think we're about to get fired live on screen.
She's here to fire us. This isn't working out. I just thought I'd tell you in front of everybody. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.